described in the documentary as being one of the last of the great golden age actors and actresses. I love the story that you told about her putting her foot down when they tried to take Moon River out of Breakfast at
Sure.
Tiffany's. Tell us a little bit about what happened with that.
But I think she's too young to be really only a part of the golden era of Hollywood. She sort of has one leg in that. She's sort of the last one to come on in that lineup. And of course, having grown up with those extraordinary characters, she picked them to be in her films. I mean, Gary Cooper was his last film. He was ill as well. Fred Astaire was much older. All of them. Bogart. So so she's also part of the new age in a way, even though she doesn't really participate in those films, with those directors, with those scripts to a certain extent, even though something like Two for the Road or, some of the films that she made were already sort of part of the early Nouvelle Vague, if you may, as far as the choice of subjects. I think it's sort of an interesting combination, and I think the reason that she has survived and is still so liked is probably because she has this freshness that's not readily, sort of associated with the golden age of cinema, which is kind of static, and those films and those scripts and the way of making the films.
It's something new. She was a new...
Right. So she may have been in those films with those directors, but she approached it a little bit in a fresher kind of a way.
Yeah, I was interested in the what was said about her role in My Fair Lady and how she had prepared to do the voice part and then was upset that they ultimately ended up dubbing her.
Sure. I mean, and she would prepare like this. She prepared this way for Wait Until Dark, the last film she did before she stopped her career to become a full-time mom. And she spent time in a center for the blind people to learn exactly, so she studied her character in depth. Same thing when she did Nun Story. She lived with the nuns for 6 weeks and became very close friends with Marie-Louise Abetz, who the story is based on. But yes, I mean, Hollywood is not a place. She didn't get to be Audrey Hepburn, the Audrey Hepburn we know, because she was a sweet, gentle pushover. She had to fight for every little tidbit. And you were just talking about the Moon River and standing up and sort of exclaiming over my dead body. I think that happened more than once. And she knew what she wanted. She had to fight with Hubert, who wanted to sort of schmooze up the clothes but she understood camera, what it sees much more than the naked eye does, and it picks up, and so less is more. And so there's a lot there that you have to sort of negotiate with people who are more experienced than you and more powerful and all of that. And yet, her career started when she was 23, and she really stopped, before she even turned 40, and so 17 movies, and yet all of them pretty good.